Hello, team tough as nails. How are you? If you are watching now, you are watching the replay. So go ahead and drop a replay down in the comments so I can say hi. I'm sorry this was not announced. We did have a scheduled time for me to go on. It was last Friday, but I had a family emergency, so I had to cancel. But I really wanted to make sure I came on. So Jenna came on and did a great training for my team. We are so appreciative. And so I wanted to come on and train on one of my favorite topics, which is actually perseverance. Perseverance is very important on being successful in life and in business. So, again, I am Brittany Mettke. I am a Sapphire National Executive with Color Street, and I'm going to start off by telling you my personal story in life and how it kind of transferred over to helping me, be successful on where I am in business, and let me tell you, it has not been easy, but I'm not saying any statistics to brag, but I'm a Sapphire National Executive. My team just passed 5,000 team members. We have a lifetime volume of over 15 million, and that is all from me, and that all comes from me having no history in this industry at all, and it all came from, going through some hard times to get there, and I still have hard times today. So I hope I hope this helps you, motivates you to rock out July. This is going to be an insane month and helps you in some kind of way. So let me start off by telling you my own personal story, and then kind of how that transfers into business. Okay. So I also, I announce myself as, my title, but I also say, hi, my name is Brittany and I'm an addict. Hey, Jenna. I say that I introduce myself as an addict pretty regularly because I, attend 12-step meetings and I have been in recovery for several years. I struggled with drug addiction, and that was going to be my first battle. Hey, Ashlyn, with my first example of perseverance. So when I say that I was a drug addict, I do not say that lightly. I wasn't a party girl that got out of control. I was a deep, dark drug addict. I was an IV heroin user. I was homeless, in and out of jails, institutions. My mother waited for the phone call that I was going to die, basically. And I kept, I went into several treatments, over 20, and I just could not, and no one thought I was going to get it. I didn't think I was going to get it. And it just went on for years and years. But I kept trying. People would give suggestions on what I should do, what would help me. And, I always wanted to try my own way, and it never worked. I'm going to lead you now to the last, my last hurrah, the last time I used. At this point in my life, I was on felony intensive probation. I had committed some crimes to support my drug addicts, like most addicts do, and I just could not stay clean. And I kept dropping dirty for my probation officer, and she was just done. She was like, Brittany, you give me one more dirty urine, I'm going to revoke your probation and you are going to do your time in prison. At that time, I was facing 7 years. I had 7 years in prison on the shelf. I was in my early 20s, and it was just really sad and ridiculous. So I always, no matter how many times I tell this story, this part always gets me really emotional. So we had a color code. We were assigned a color, and you're supposed to call this number every day. And when your color comes up, you are supposed to go down to the courthouse and drop. And my color was blue, and I called and it was blue. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to end up spending a big chunk of, I'm going to prison. And at that point I had felt so hopeless. So I was supposed to get a check in the next couple days from work. It was about a $300 check, and I had made the decision that I was going to just end my life. At that point, I just had no hope, and it was over, and that's what I thought I was gonna do. I drafted out a text to send to my parents, my family, and I had just made the decision that I didn't want to live anymore. And that's how I was going to do it. I was going to get enough drugs and I was just going to kill myself. I was done with this whole thing. But that morning when all that happened, I was arrested. The U.S. Marshals arrested me, picked me up for my warrants, and it was over. I always, I say I was definitely rescued. I had full intentions of dying. And from that moment on, I decided to start making some active changes and not give up and to persevere and just do the things, the suggested things that I've always been. And so from then, my life had an active change from not using. So that was my first lesson in perseverance, because I wanted to ultimately give up, but instead I did some really, really hard things. And getting clean and staying clean is very, very hard, even with years, so that was my first lesson. So now we're going to go, years forward away from that, and kind of how I stumbled on to direct sales in Color Street. So now we're at the point where I have been clean for several years. I'm working at a restaurant. I'm a server, bartender. Very hard. Not a great life that I want to live. Because I have criminal history, it's very hard. People don't want to hire me, even with, a bachelor's degree. I was pregnant with my 4th child, and we were on food stamps, we were on Medicaid, we, were struggling every single month. It was just not a good quality of life. And, again, I was at that point where I felt pretty hopeless. My restaurant had given me the opportunity that if I, could become a manager, and I thought this was it. I was going to be able to change my life, start making more money. I felt like I was going to have some credibility, and they had me go through all the training. I did so well, and I remember this day very distinctly. I pulled into my condo. It was like a rainy, cold day. And my phone rings, and it's Orlando corporate from the business, and they said that, we're very sorry, Brittany, but we sent your application to the legal department, and they had decided that they're not comfortable moving forward with you. Again, right there, I felt like a punch in the gut. I felt very hopeless. I was like, why did I even change my life and everything if this is how it was gonna be? So here's the thing, when things get hard, it's okay to have those immediate feelings. Those feelings are very valid, but perseverance is a mindset. And it's kind of like what we do once we have those roadblocks or barriers. Now, I could have continued on and just threw myself a pity party and not have tried, but because of wanting to change so much, I thought I just had to find something. And that's how I stumbled upon these home-based businesses. And so Color Street is my first business. I actually did sign up for a company 3 weeks before I signed up for Color Street, but I didn't do much with it. I didn't learn anything. It was very overwhelming. So I signed up for that company, got my inventory July 8th, 2017. I signed up for Color Street July 21st, 2017. So it was because I needed to find something that could work for me and that was going to let me live my potential, that I did a lot of research. And these multi-level marketing, network marketing, these companies give us the opportunity to get paid what we're worth, and they don't judge us based on educational, criminal, race, sex, anything like that. So again, because I didn't decide to let that moment defeat me, I was able to find Color Street, which I'm forever grateful. So now we're going to move on to my start with Color Street. Now, like I said, no experience, right? I have no clue, don't know anything about parties. I don't know anything about running a company or anything online. What are you doing? So my sponsor, my personal sponsor, and she's now one of my good friends, Katie Harbison, I met her in a group and she sponsored me, and when we didn't have a team page. We were learning so many new things. I heard that, you should start doing these parties online. So what I did was I jumped on YouTube and started like looking up like online parties, and I started watching a lot of videos from people that were successful in other companies. And again, like I said, that is a tool that that successful people have, that perseverance mindset. You do not sit there and expect people to hand you do not answers. You do not expect people, to do it for you. So I didn't have, we didn't have anything. So like I went online and I figured out, how to make this work for myself. Now, again, I told you, I didn't come from another company where I had a team. I did not have a full, YouTube has so many great things. I did not come from, I didn't have a huge blog following, Instagram following. It was literally just my little old friends and family. And, a lot of them weren't interested in. So I'm like, how can I make this work? So was it all great and easy in the beginning? Not at all. I had no idea where to start. Did I have a lot of parties that had a lot of zeros? Yes. If you've ever had a party that had 0 sales, go ahead and drop a 0 in the comments, and we can see how common it is, because it is common. So I see a lot of people get discouraged by that. But the thing is, anytime we have something like that, it's such an opportunity to learn what we can tweak, what we can do different. And now I don't look at it as a defeating thing. A party with 0 sales is still an opportunity to grow your network. And I always make sure that I friend request people that were invited, that were engaged in the party. Because what that means is now they're going to be in my network. They're going to be Facebook friends with me. They're going to start seeing my sprinkle of color street. I'm going to start trying to build a relationship with them. And I've had so many people that I have friend requested from a party that had no sales eventually, join my VIP, become a customer, become a hostess, become a stylist. And I don't say this to brag, but all of my personal sponsored leaders, I never met in person. It was all through social media and just kind of using these little tools as far as like trying to genuinely connect with people. And Michelle, she is, she's a Sapphire National Executive too. And I met her through a 0 party. Her first party was a 0. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean that it's the end of the road and things are working for you. It's kind of what you decide to do from there. And that's why we're the perseverance mindset and just going and trying, even though you're not getting the result right then, or even if the result seems like it's a long ways away. The rank I am today, I never thought was gonna happen. It just wasn't even on my radar. Shoot, becoming an executive, I remember all I wanted was to become a director. And a director is a huge deal. Great part of leadership. That is so hard to get, becoming a senior director. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to become a director, and I wanted to make, maybe I wanted to make $1,000 a month. So nothing that has happened was even on my radar, but I just kept going through and not giving up. I joined in July. I did not have my first promotion to senior stylist until November. I remember seeing a lot of people join and just like shoot through the ranks past me, and I wanted to feel discouraged by that. But the thing is, like, they've had their journey. Many of those people have spent years building a network, and they knew what they were doing. And it's just like I can't compare myself to them. So I kind of just focused on myself. It was very important for me to kind of learn how to just dive into it and focus on sales, because sales and parties, because those are the things that help us. Yeah, you totally keep going. Seriously, I've seen people, you know, and I've read in other companies, you know, 5 years before they reach the top of the comp plan. It's still so early, but like, it was so important for me to learn how to get sales and master selling, because I wanted to be able to teach that to the people I recruited, and I wanted to not stress out about that, you know, as far as being a leader. Because the thing is, a lot of people join and they're like, I want to build my team, but like, if you don't know how to sell the product, how are you going to teach other people to? And who cares how big your team is if all you see is a bunch of zeros? Like, it doesn't really matter. But when you realize and you kind of master selling and getting the product out and having parties, that's where you meet your new people. That's where you grow your network. And that is so important to constantly have, like, you know, even no matter what my rank is, I still try to have at least one online party a week. And is it busy and is it overwhelming? Yes, but I have to work on my personal business. It has to keep growing, because then it will just stop. And you definitely, you know, I've seen some other companies, and, you know, and you'll see like it just kind of, people stop growing. Legs start to crumble. It's so easy to like see like maybe a leg that you have is struggling. That's up to us. Like, we need to figure out how to do that. We can't just blame other people. So I'm going to go a little bit more on to a couple other examples of kind of hard times. So like I said, super hard time struggling with parties, but just still continue to do it. Even if a stylist or even if a person had a zero party, I still will ask them to host again in a few months. Most of the time they have, and it gets a little better. Having like a zero party is not a reason to not have that hostess ever again. It just, you know, it's just not that, it just may not have been a good time. And like, just always constantly like taking action, and like I say, like having that perseverance mindset is like being very solution focused, because a lot of times people just want to sit there and focus on the problem, and that doesn't help. But when we have like solutions, action steps, this is what I need to do, these are the goals I need to accomplish, these are the things I'm going to need to do, and keep going no matter what. That is, you know, where the perseverance mindset comes from. Nikki, it will be 2 years at the end of this month I have been with Color Street. So back to a couple other stories, some hard times in the biz. So like, yeah, so I promoted for the first time finally to senior stylist in November, and no, you're fine, and you can always watch it later. Yeah, July 21st. So yay, almost our 2-year birthday. So anyways, what was I going to say? So another time, like, we have hard times in this business. Sometimes it can be discouraging, slower months. So last April, if you've been around for a while, last year, we had the opportunity to join the presidential circle, which is you had to hit a certain rank, which is senior executive, and hold it 2 months in a row. So if you've been here for a while before the new system, you know, like, we used to have to, like, at the end of the month, like, manually check teams and promotions to see how everything was. And it was like crazy town, super stressful. So I thought I had hit senior executive in April, which meant I thought one of my girls made senior director, and so on and so forth. And like the next day came around, and we're just sitting there like waiting for promotions to roll over. And we're like, what to do? And it's not happening. And we're like, gosh, well, maybe they're just a little bit late, you know, it will happen. And we just waited a little bit later, and then it turned out that we missed the promotion by $14 in a senior stylist leg, which would have just been a French set. God, I was so upset, you guys. I remember I was crying, I was embarrassed. It was just like, and it was just another example, like, okay, Brittany, this is not the end. I have to talk down myself sometimes. I'm like, this is not the end of the world. It's always a senior stylist. I was like, this is, you know, we just got to try again. So like I said, allow yourself to feel those feelings, be upset, but don't allow yourself to be stuck in it and make like a permanent decision based off of a temporary emotion. So like, what if I would have been like, you know what, forget forget Color Streak. This just isn't for me. But no, like what we did is we decided to, you know, continue the plan, rock out the month. It happened that month, you know, and I was entered the, you know, presidential circle. I think it was like June or May. So, you know, it happened. But what if I would have stopped and just used that? And so many times, like as humans, it is so like natural for that fight or flight thing, that when things get hard, we just want to quit. We just want to run from it. We don't want to face it head on. And that's kind of what sets, you know, a part of that perseverance mindset. Another example, this is more recent for me. So I hit National Executive in October, and then I hit Sapphire National Executive in January. Since I've started promoting, I've never not maintained my rank. Well, May was a tough month for me in my personal life. And so I just was all over the place. I wasn't focused on my personal business, and I wasn't focused on what I should have been. And it was just a hard month all around for everybody. And I actually last month was paid as a senior executive, which means I didn't maintain my rank. And, you know, so that's actually 2 ranks down. So I wasn't a Sapphire, wasn't a National. I was a senior executive. And that night was a very hard night. It was like, I felt I felt defeated. But the thing is, like, sometimes we need those wake-up calls, and I use it as such a wake-up call, that, you know, like, I was letting things on the outside influence how I was doing my business. And the truth was, I was not working my personal business like I should have in May. I was slacking on, like, team trainings, team incentives. So what I did that night, I made, and like I said, it's about making those goals and action steps. And I said, listen, I want to have a personal volume of $1,000 this month. I'm going to have parties every single week. I want to personally enroll 5 people. That was my own goal. And I was like, because I need to start, I had to start rebuilding a leg that was having some trouble. And, you know, I didn't hit all those goals. I personally enrolled 4 last month, but that was big from 0. You know, my sales were decent, but, you know, I was paid as a Sapphire National last night, and it was just great because, like, I know I worked for it, I earned it, and it was all because I didn't quit and, like, just soak. And I see so many people, like, lose, you know, like, not maintain a rank and just have such a defeatist attitude. And it's just the opposite of what we want. You know, I have a girl on my team, her name's Mandy Rhodes, and she is a senior executive, and she was trying so hard to hit the presidential circle, and she hit senior executive in November but could not maintain it for December. And and that was the last month. And her attitude from it all, like, I just admire it so much, you know, because that could have, you know, took some people out. Like, people could have used that as an excuse to, like, blame the company for not being fair. And it's not that. It's so easy when we get discouraged to, like, sit there and blame other people or outside things. And, like, I used to be known for it. Like, I get, like, my blame thrown around. I'm like, doon, it's everyone else's fault. But no, we look at what we can do, and that's the only thing we have control over, is what we can do. So I'm like, okay, so what can I do? Hey, Jessica. I'm like, what can I do? And, you know, you have to, like, actually put up action steps on, like, what I can do to change, what I can do to make sure I grow, and, like, have those goals, like, visible. Like, so like I said, I didn't maintain my Sapphire National in May. That was a Saturday. Let me tell you, Sunday I followed up with 30 people. I made sure I had someone signed up. I booked so many parties. I had so many parties going last month. I was like, it is not happening ever again on my watch. But sometimes you need, like, that little kick in the butt, and it's kind of what we do from it that we can't, like, I could have chosen the route to say like, well, this just isn't going to work for me. This is the best there is. Or I can like choose the other route. Like, no, I'm going to take power over this. I'm going to make some changes and it's just not going to happen again. And like June is a tough month, and I was able to get back to what I wanted, and that's important to me. Because like I wanted to beat myself up for that, like not maintaining in May. But the thing was, when I looked at it, it was a lot of me. Like I said, I was slacking. I had stopped enrolling like I was enrolling. I had stopped doing parties like I was doing. So, like I said, perseverance mindset is a lot about what we do after something hard happened, or what we do when we're not seeing results as quickly as we can. It's not something that comes natural or easy. And sometimes you have to kind of like fake it for a while. But then it becomes natural and becomes easier. And people will say like, oh, Brittany, you're so easygoing. Like, it has not been that way. And sometimes it's not. It's not how I'm feeling on the inside. But it's just like trying to keep it, together. Of course, Nikki. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to ask me. I've had, like I said, I had a lot of mistakes that I kind of learned from. One thing I feel that I made huge mistakes on in the beginning was like following up. I was not a good follow-upper, and I think that really like hurt me. But now, like, from learning from that, I've become like a follow-up stalker queen. Like, people need like restraining orders. No, I'm not really, but like, it's just like learning from that. Like, I used to just like pass out samples to everybody. Like, you get a sample, you get a sample. And then like, no, like never a reason or rhyme to follow up and ask what they did, like how they liked it. So like, it's just making those mistakes, and like, why am I not getting the results? We kind of just learn from it, tweak it, and then eventually we become experts in it. But a lot of times, the people that you see that are successful have had some bumps in the road. Yeah, definitely. Following up is so important. It's like over and over again. So anyways, Jenna, thanks so much for having me come on your page. If anyone has any questions, I think I'm going to stay. I have her on my team page, so if you want to keep me on here for a little bit, I can answer questions. You can feel free to follow me on Facebook, send me a message sometime. It doesn't matter. But I hope you guys have a great July. If you listen, we have so much amazingness stuff going on. It's going to be insane. And I hope I see some of you guys at conference in August. Come say hi. Be like, yeah, you came on tough as nails. So then just like say hi to me. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week. Bye.